More now on President Biden's meeting or call today with China President Xi and what is at stake. Let's welcome in DeWardrick McNeil, former Obama administration Defense Department appointee. He is now Longview Global Managing Director and a CNBC contributor. DeWardrick, thank you for joining us again. If you were advising President Biden ahead of this call, what would be your one or two key pieces of advice or counsel to the president ahead of it?
Good question, Brian. Good morning. Look, I think to focus on sharpening the choices for China, it is absolutely important that China comes away from this meeting with a clear and sincere understanding of the costs associated with this next round of decisions, whether or not it's going to provide aid and comfort to Russia as it seeks to evade sanctions. And certainly, Brian, what the costs are if China decides to resupply Russia's military machine executing the war in Ukraine. So cutting through the rhetoric, making sure that the choices are sharpened so that she goes away and understands that there will be serious repercussions.
What leverage, though, DeWardrick, do we actually have with China? I mean, they've got their own economy. They buy some stuff from us, not very much, mostly scrap metal and things like that. They pretty much have their own internet at this point. What real leverage do we have?
Well, at the moment, we have a fairly large coalition of people of countries who are backing Ukraine and backing the U.S. leadership of this effort. With respect to the economy, Brian, you raise an interesting point. I suspect China will be making clear that if the U.S. decides to go too far with secondary sanctions, that they will experience what I'm calling mutually assured economic destruction. China will make it clear that they are not Russia and that they can hurt U.S. companies, U.S. investors and consumers. And so this is going to be a chance to really sharpen the focus on the cost. And there will be cost to both sides. And ultimately, this will come down to a test of wills. Who's serious about really doing the things that they discuss in this meeting, and what side will be better prepared over the long term to sustain what it is they say they're going to do. But as Eunice said, this is not going to be easy. This is not going to be pretty, but this is necessary diplomacy, Brian. And I'm glad that this meeting is taking place because we don't want to stumble into a situation. We want clear heads understanding the cost.
I mean, the key thing to your point, DeWardrick, is that they are talking. I mean, as long as you are talking, that is, I think, probably to your point, the first step. The issue of Taiwan is one that we know is extremely sensitive, or as they, I mean, you can't call it Taiwan, obviously. To them, it is a part of their own country, operating sort of semi-independently at this point. The world, most of it anyway, has a different view. Do you broach the subject of Taiwan if you're Biden, or do you stick straight to Russia, what their intentions are? Will they still keep buying Russian oil, which of course they will, et cetera, and maybe some trade issues, and just avoid the issue of Taiwan altogether?
Well, listen, I think the people sitting around the table with the president and the president knows that they won't have to bring it up. China will. It's definitely not going to be a situation where the Chinese will not find an opportunity to talk about what they hate about our engagement with Taiwan. So it will come up. I don't believe that the Biden administration will bring it up. They're pretty clear that the Chinese will on this issue. But again, Taiwan is for at least China and the U.S. a concern, but I don't think it's the immediate concern. But it's always on the agenda when the U.S. and China meet.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.